right, folks, today what we're going to be doing is drawing exercises. These drawing exercises come from a book by Betty Edwards called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. What she did was she took a lot of brain science and applied it to drawing and art. Okay? So we're going to go through these exercises and I'm going to ask you to do your best. All right? Basically, her idea was that there are two different sides of your brain, okay? The right and the left. All right, the right hemisphere works with the left hemisphere, but it tends to do things that are more artistic. It also tends to do things that are more relied on your imagination or creativity. It also is more emotional. It is also more about face recognition and seeing things, where your left side of your brain is much more numeric and mathematical and scientific, and it does a lot of like step-by-step processes, and it's also very logical. Okay, and the goal is to try to use both sides of your brain, which we always do, but most of us kind of rely on one side or the other a little bit more. So these exercises will help you to use more of your brain while you're drawing and to see better, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through these drawing exercises. There are 8 total. You're only going to have to choose about 4. Okay, so the first one is you're going to take a printout like you see here of Picasso's Stravinsky. Okay, you're going to do 4. I'm going to start with the first one, and this is where you take a contour line drawing or a printout, and you're going to copy it. But if you are a remote student, you can just look at the screen because I will attach these to the assignment. And if you're a hybrid student, you can do the same. But I will also print off some hard copies so that you have them, and that's an option too if you want to print off a hard copy. You can use multiple ones, or you could just use one, but I'll give you a bunch of different choices for contour line drawings to use as a reference. Okay, anything like a flower, a dog, a unicorn. Done lots of different stuff. There's a sneaker, Jordan. We got a T-Rex, an anatomical drawing. You know, anything that's like a contour line drawing of a thing that's school appropriate will work, but I'll attach a lot of these so you have some choices. So let's get started on the actual drawing. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is the direct copy. Okay, now I said you get to choose. There's 8 total. You pick 4. The first one, I would suggest, if you made me pick, I would say everyone should do the first one and then pick 3 other different ones because this is where everything starts from. And this is a direct copy. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to look at the printout or look at the screen of the picture that you chose, the contour line drawing. I'm picking this drawing of Stravinsky by Pablo Picasso. A lot of times when you see these exercises done, this is the picture that they use because it works really well. But basically, you put your paper near the screen or near the printout, and you are going to try to draw exactly what you see, okay? And what you're going to do is draw out every line as identically as you possibly can, okay? So I look and I draw. And the one thing that I really want you to focus on is doing your best. I don't want you to focus on being perfect. So if you make a mistake, you're going to draw the line again. Draw a couple lines till you get it right. I'd rather have more lines than less lines, okay? Do not want to see tons of erasings or you draw half of it, erase it, and start over. I don't want that. That's not what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is give the exercise your best effort and do it the best you can. This goes for any exercise. It's the same principle, okay? So if you were doing, let's say, a push-up, you need to have a flat back. You need to drop down to about the thickness of a fist. You need to have your hands kind of elbow width apart, come down to the width of a fist, and push back up without locking out your elbows. And keep your body straight, keep your back flat. You need to do as many of those as you can to get stronger. It's more important to do 1 or 2 good push-ups than it is to do 10 where you're just wiggling around, okay? So it's the same thing with these exercises. I'm asking you to do your best. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for a perfect effort. Try as hard as you can to do the thing that I'm showing. This first one, we're looking at the picture and we're drawing it. Again, without erasing. We're trying to use multiple lines if we have to be as perfect as we can. I'm going to say start at the top, work your way down the paper. That's going to help you. Okay? Even if you run out of room and can't fill the whole page with the drawing, at least you'll have a page full of drawing. Okay? If I miss the legs here, that's not the end of the world. I'm going to try to get the shoulders, to the arms, down to the hands. Right now I'm kind of on the lapel here and kind of working my way down. That'll also eliminate smudges. Okay? So I'm not going to make you watch the entire thing. You get the idea. I'm going to move on to the second one. Now this one is absolutely one of my favorites. It's called a blind contour line drawing. And what you're going to do is you're going to open up a packet, okay? And you're going to close your hand in the packet. You have to kind of have like something to hide your hand. You can't peek at the drawing. You have to look at the printout. And you could switch printouts, but basically your eye should look at the line and then your hand draws it without peeking at the drawing, only looking at the printout. Now, what I'm going to do is kind of pop my head over to the side so I can only see the printout. Hopefully you guys will be able, there's my head. Hopefully you guys will be able to actually see the side where I'm drawing. And what's going to happen is as I start to draw what I see, I'm tracing over the line with my eye and then drawing it with my pencil, and things are going to get distorted. They're going to get weird. The placement, the proportions, the size, it's all going to get a little goofy. It's going to get a little odd. And again, I'm not peeking. That's cheating. Okay, that's doing one of those, bent back from your knees, wiggly elbows push-ups. It's not worth anything. It's a waste of time. So I'm just looking at the drawing of Stravinsky while my hand goes to work underneath the flap. Hopefully you get a little peek as to what's happening there. You can kind of follow along. Now I can't see it, so I'm just kind of getting down to the lapel. I think I'm doing a pretty good job here. Feels pretty accurate. Just trying to be in contact with the paper. If you lift your pencil up too much, you tend to get lost. So just try to stay one continuous line the best you can. I'm trying to finish it up here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Head's all jacked up. It's all over the place, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of cool looking. A lot of artists will kind of like use this as a creative jumping off point and start to make, the face over here, or maybe the person's turned, or like they'll get a different idea for maybe a drawing or a painting by doing blind contour. It's one of my favorites, blind contour line drawing. Okay, so you got the copy, direct copy, number 1. Number 2, blind contour line drawing. And then let's move on to number 3. We're going to do this on a clean sheet of paper, divide it in half, or close to in half. You don't have to measure it. You just want a top and a bottom that are close to the same size. And basically what you're going to do, this one is called a reflection. This is the reflection. So I'm going to draw a line or shape design on the top. Don't draw anything real, okay? Don't try to do like a house or a face. You're just trying to do lines and shapes, and you're trying to fill that upper box. You don't have to fill every little teeny tiny detail, but you do want sort of big shapes and a design with lines as well. So I'm going to use some circles, teardrop shapes. Kind of got like a zigzag saw blade thing. We'll do some more spikies here. Do some more spikies just to kind of fill up the space, make it look kind of cool, have a little bit of balance to it. We'll break these up a little bit so it's not empty in the background. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. Okay, take up the whole page. Now, on the bottom, what you're going to do is reflect that design down. Okay, how do you do that? You can't turn the paper, you can't fold the paper. You have to do it in your brain. All right, so make it match. It has to be symmetrical, essentially. It's called the reflection, reflect it down. If you've ever seen a mountainscape with trees and a placid lake, you notice that sometimes that hill, mountain, trees, they're reflected down into the lake. So that's basically the same sort of idea. Whatever's on top gets reflected down. You got a bump here, another bump there, a little wiggly there, and now they meet. We'll do the teardrop shapes. Couple teardrop shapes, couple spikies here going down and away. The other one went up. Don't forget that wiggle. Couple more spikies. And don't forget the wiggles and the circles. They gotta match it. If you cut it in half, it should, or fold it in half, it should come back and match itself. Okay, that's symmetry. So it's the same on top as it is on the bottom. If you turn it this way, same kind of thing. Looks like a face or a pumpkin. I don't know what it looks like, but it doesn't matter. It's the reflection. It's using your brain to kind of fill in the gaps of what that would look like if it's reflected down. Okay, so that is reflection. Checking them off my list here, okay? I'm going to show you 8. We got through the first 3. All right, now the next one, I would need a clean sheet of paper again, obviously. And for this thing, I like to call it the creativity booster. And what you're going to do is you're just going to draw, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 lines or shapes. 6 is good. It's on the low end, but that'll work. And I don't want you to think about anything. You can actually just do the exact same ones you see in the video. Copy it. You can even pause it right now and copy what you see. Okay? Now, what you're going to do is creatively turn this into something. Now, you can come up with your own lines and shapes and then turn it into something, but don't have a plan. All right? I'm just going, okay, that kind of thing looked like a moon. Then I guess these could be mountains and hills. What could that be? A tree, I guess? Yeah, it could be a big tree. Okay, it might be a little too big, but we'll make it work. That's a big tree, some branches, some bark, a little knot in the tree. We'll put some more hills in here so it looks like it's, you know, kind of forced perspective going back in space. Creek, river, water of some sort, we'll say. Kind of got to fill in some of this background too, so it's a full drawing. Put some more rocky little crags in there. Another little tree back here, so it's further away. Darken it up a little bit. There we go. What else can we put in here? Pine tree. Do a zigzag in a pine tree. A little happy tree here. We're getting real Bob Ross style. A couple happy trees and a mountainscape. Okay, you creatively turn it into whatever you want as long as it's school appropriate. Okay, that's the idea. It is a creativity booster. You take an incomplete drawing with lines and shapes and you turn it into something. For this thing, you want real stuff. Okay, you want landscape, you want face, you want house, you want animal, you want whatever. Take nothing, turn it into something. Okay, cross that one off the list. The next one we are going to do here. We need a clean sheet of paper for this one. And for this one, I'm going to do an upside down drawing. Okay? So I have to have a plan. For this one, I need to know, what am I going to draw? How about a face or a head? The circle or the oval would stay the same, but the eyes would be at the bottom. So you got eyes at the bottom. Okay, pupil, iris, pupil. Nose would kind of shoot up, and the eyebrows would be at the bottom too. Do some hairy eyebrows, nose shooting up, and it would kind of curve towards the sky instead of towards the ground. You got nostrils, and you got top lip, but it would be on the bottom. The bottom lip will be on the top, right? Keep it kind of sketchy to start and always make it darker. There's a little chin action. There's an ear. Those aren't really going to change all that much. Keep the lobe at the bottom. Put some details. Okay. Probably add some hair in here. Maybe some spiky, messy hair for this guy. Come in the forehead a little bit. And then what about the neck? We need to add a neck kind of going up, not down. Put a shirt on him. Put some stripes on the shirt maybe or something. Make a chin, more stripes, details, Kind of erase that part out of the head. We could probably do some things to make it look more realistic, some wrinkles, put maybe a 5 o'clock shadow on there. You know, fill the page with details. It shouldn't just be like, I drew a square. That ain't gonna work, okay? It's gotta be a real thing, drawn to the best of your ability. You know, put those eyelashes on there if it's a real person. You know, put some shingles on the roof if it's a house. You know, if it's a dog, add some fur. You know, be detailed. But draw it upside down. That's the tricky part. That's the challenge. That's the exercise. Put a background in there if you want, okay? Fill it up. Ooh, he's a little goofy looking. Kind of like Shaggy if he shaved or something. I don't know. But whatever. I drew it upside down. That's the exercise. That's the goal. Cross that one off the list. Okay, moving on. Next one. What you're going to do for this one is your hand drawing. So you're going to take your hand and pose it. So your non-dominant hand, I'm a righty, so my left hand is going to be posed. Maybe a fist. Maybe I open it up. Maybe I spread it out. But I hold it down in a school-appropriate way. Okay? No inappropriate hand gestures. Keep it there, don't move, and then look at it. And what you're going to do is start real sketchy, and you're going to draw out all of the fingers. Okay, there's the ring finger. Middle finger is going to stretch past it. You'll notice that I'm being like real sketchy to start. I don't want like a stick figure. Okay? And I don't want a cartoon. What I want is real light lines, trying to find the sizes and the shapes of things. Where do they curve? Where does one finger hit the other finger? How big should it be? All right, is the next finger thicker or thinner than the first one? Okay, pointer finger is going to go down. I can't see all of the nails, so it's got to be a little bit pointier there, a little bit fatter as it comes back towards my wrist. Again, sketchy. All right, I don't care if I draw 100 different lines there. I'm trying to get a feel for which one looks right. Okay, just like a sculptor takes off bigger hunks of the block of wood or the block of marble and then slowly works down to the details of chipping away and sanding away and smoothing things out. You're doing the same thing with your drawing. Big shapes, light, sketchy, draw it 10 times, draw it 100 times so you get a nice feel for the shape. You know, if the watch curves, how much does it curve? Does it curve at the bottom? Does it curve around the wrist? Then come back in and look for details. I got some wrinkles on the knuckle. I've got some hairs on the finger there. This is a little bit more shadow, so it's a little bit darker. Some details in the finger and the fingernail. You know, where the calcium deposit is a little bit whiter back there. Got some wrinkles. A lot of wrinkles. Wrinkles in the hand. Got a scar on the thumb. A little bit darker down here because there's more shadow underneath that thumb. If you look, it's real dark on the picture from there because the light's coming from top left. So it's kind of shining down, so that'll be darker down there. Kind of get into the details. You get the idea. I'm not going to make you watch the entire hand drawing, but you kind of get the idea of posing your hand appropriately, looking at it, and drawing it. Now, these things, remember, these are not things that are supposed to take 2 seconds, but they're not supposed to take an hour either. Okay, these are several minutes, maybe 10 minutes for the drawing. I'm whipping through it because I've done it 100 times and I'm fast. You should really take your time, but don't take hours. Okay, each one maybe several minutes per drawing. Okay, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes per drawing. Okay, now this one is also kind of fun. It is a direct copy. Now you can switch to a different printout if you're sick of it, or you can use the same one. All right, I'm going to go with the dove. And what I'm going to do is turn the paper here to match the direction of the picture. Okay, you should always do that. Otherwise, the proportions get weird and you're trying to smush stuff. But it's called non-dominant hand. So what I'm going to do as a righty, switch the pencil to my left and look at the dove and try to draw it to the best of my ability. I tend to rush and push really hard with my left hand. So I'm going to force myself to slow down and see every feather in the wing. Curve over the head. Get the body, slow down, try to get every feather. Okay, it's really hard to draw with your non-dominant hand. So if you're a righty, you're using your left. If you're a lefty, you're using your right. Get everything in there. The drawing's not done till you have every line. Okay, finishing this guy up. And voila. Okay? Now, that is non-dominant hand drawing. Okay, another clean piece of paper. What we're going to do for this one is it is our last one. It's number 8, and it is called letters. And what you're going to do is you're going to write a 3 or 4 letter word, preferably 4, school appropriate, in bubble letters. Could be spiky, could be round, could be blocky, but it has to be bubble letters. I'm using the word love. Don't do anagrams. No mom, no wow. It's too easy. It's not going to learn anything. It's not going to make you better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to translate this in the other 3 boxes. Okay, so the first one, top right, we're going to go mirror reversal. The E, going to switch and face the other way. Then comes the V, not the O. Oops, okay, there's the V. Now the O is easy. And then lastly, the L, but it's not going to face to the right. It's going to face to the left. Okay, you'll notice that it's a mirror reversal. If you stand in front of the mirror with letters on your shirt, they reverse. An ambulance has mirror reversed letters on it. So when someone's driving and they look in their mirror, they can read that it's an ambulance, especially if they can't hear very well. Okay, that's why that looks that way. So you got mirror reversal in the top right, and then I believe we're going to go bottom right. You can always check that one too if you kind of like flip it and hold it up to the light and look at the back. But we're going to go, no, not the left. We're going to go to the right. And we're going to do non-dominant this time. So it's another non-dominant. We're sticking with copying the word love or whatever word you want that's school appropriate in bubble letters. Try to make it match. The last one is actually going to be a reflection, just like the design one. So the letters have to reflect down. Obviously, the L look like a mirror is kind of pushing them downwards, okay? L would flip down, O is easy, V, C, okay? That's a reflection. So you have to translate a word in bubble letters. That is the last one, that is number 8, and that is called letters. I'll have all of these listed. Remember, you're only choosing 4 out of the possible 8. Okay, good luck, everybody, and if you have any questions, hit me up.